entrepreneurship. And, a lot of people have ideas about what it is to be an entrepreneur. Oh, you're lucky. You run your own business. You're an entrepreneur. You don't have to deal with a boss. And I always say, no, I deal with about 600 bosses from all our customers.
Yeah.
Each one of those. And, oh, you've never been fired. We've lost accounts. They fired, like years ago. Yeah. So,
you never had a paycheck.
Or that, right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Warren Buffett says the paycheck is the hardest drug to kick. The monthly paycheck. But, being an entrepreneur has its own set of challenges. Nobody is telling you you're doing a good job, attaboys, right?
Right.
We talk about those, and, you could be riding high at 10 a.m. in the morning, and by 10:30, you could get off a call and you could think the world is ending. Like it's up and down, and it's not for everybody. I personally wouldn't have it any other way. It's just, first of all, I'm used to it, but I've always wanted to do my own thing, but it's not for everybody, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, talking to, young kids, either entering the corporate world or wanting to start a business, a big part of it is just being patient, because the fact is, 22-year-old, they just won't have the experience. Mm-hmm. And when you're patient and you pick yourself up when you fall down, mm-hmm. and you reinvent yourself, you challenge yourself, you get outside of that box twice a day, that's when you start learning, and you breathe, and you have a life, and you are grateful. But that patience, and then over time, and I'm grateful, I know you are, we can reflect on our 22 years of entrepreneurship, and we can almost see what's coming down the road next, because we have that experience. And that's not something that you can teach. You can just
overnight success in what do they say in Hollywood takes 10 years on average.
Yeah.
I mean, and everyone's like, oh my God, overnight success. You're like, what are you kidding me? I've been waiting tables and
10, I would say 10 or more. Yeah.
More. Right.
But and back to some of the things, I had a couple more here on the list, but you remind me, I had another Covey chapter, which is always have an exit strategy. You want to have an exit strategy, whether it's, you want to sell the company, or you've got kids you want to hand it off to. You want to have that. And I know you don't want to look too far ahead into the future. You want to be present and give your best self now, today. But you do want to make sure that you start with the end in mind. And that's a chapter of another chapter of Covey's, because if you don't, then you could be kind of floundering or wandering around, and it could be not only scary, but confusing,
So my advice, I think you're spot on. Beginning with the end in mind is always a good thing. You should have, so the only thing I will caution people on is having goals could also be a major source of stress and anxiety if you think you're not hitting those goals, right? So the way I would say it is, yes, begin with the end in mind. If let's say our goal was to have $1 billion company, right? I don't know how to get there. Right. Like you have to admit, this is my goal. That's where I'd like it to be. I have no idea the path. I know what I have to do today. I know so little steps. You and I talk about it, improving 1% a week at the end of the year, compounded. What is that? 356 percent or something, or I don't even know. You're the math guy. But the point is a lot of steps add up. A lot of little steps add up to a long journey. And
that is so helpful too, to keep you sane, focused. And if you start going, like you said, thinking about that big goal that you're trying to achieve, it can be very overwhelming. And almost paralyzing.
Yes.
So, and that's actually it's a good suggestion or recommendation. Like when you start feeling that way, you're overwhelmed, just take it back and just focus on what you need to do that next 10 minutes.
That or get up and walk outside.
Well, that too. Yeah. Or take a breath, you know, but you're so right. You're so right. Your goals are great, but you maybe want to break them up. And then the fun part is when you reflect on the goals and you can see what you've achieved and what you didn't and why you didn't, and a lessons learned. You know?
Well, and without doing that, you run the risk of giving up right before you are about to recognize success.
Right.
You know, a lot of people do that. Oh, I gave myself 2 years for this and we're not hitting the goal, and I'm, you know, and you know, you give up too soon. That happens.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Often.
Yeah, no, it's.
But anyway,
entrepreneurship is, you know, it's not a cakewalk, but it is fun, man. I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Yeah.
Well, it's you know, it's fun, but it's really when things go well, like it's like one of the greatest things, you know, it's a great feeling. And it's rewarding. That's the one I'm looking for. But anyway.